Yes, you are tuned into the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. And we are streaming on Rumble. And we are streaming on X. And we are streaming on YouTube. And of course, we're streaming at the mothership, WYAB.com. So if some reason you can't pick up the 50,000 watt blowtorch, you always got us on the stream, and we appreciate that. If you haven't, please tune in or please follow me on X, Rumble, YouTube. Appreciate that greatly. It's just at Andrew Gosser, AndrewGasser. And the phone number today, if you want to be part of the show, is 601 879 0002. The text line is open, and I'm getting a lot of them. 601 879 5060. Today is Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. And the mission here at the Andrew Gosser Show, it's standard. We are here to equip the saints. Who are the saints? Y'all are the saints. And a desire fulfilled is sweet to the soul, but to turn away from evil is an abomination to the fools. And we want to turn away from evil. We've got all sorts of craziness going on in Mississippi with this attack on Beth Israel Synagogue. We're going to talk about it. But I have to tell you, I feel so great today. I feel better today than I probably have in 3 or 4 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. You can probably hear it in my voice. I had a great night's sleep. I had a great day of sleep. And I'm just very grateful and thankful to the Sweet Bee and the Sweet Toots for putting up with me while we went through this dry spell, if you will. Dry place. It was brutal, ladies and gentlemen. Not going to dwell on it too much, but you can definitely hear it in my voice. And there's so many places to start. So many places to start. I want to definitely use local sources for the story from Beth Israel Synagogue problem or issue that we had. And I'm using Jackson Jambalaya. And Kingfish was ahead of this. And I know that there are other stories in great places like Magnolia Tribune and elsewhere, but I really want to use Kingfish because he was the actual first person I saw it from. And when we were talking about it around the radio station, he was leading the pack. And he what I like about Kingfish is he goes ahead and he actually posts the documents, the FBI indictment, and it's really good because it goes through and it talks about what he actually did. And the thing about the indictment that really got me is that he is talking to somebody while he's getting ready to do this. It's the initials are only SP. I can only assume that is his one of his parents. On January 10th, 2026, this is paragraph 8 from the indictment. On January 10th, 2026, Pittman's father, SP, contacted the FBI and advised his son confessed to setting the building on fire. This confession was further corroborated by Life 360 map data, and that SP had from Pittman's phone. Ladies and gentlemen, I know lots of people use Life 360. In fact, I use Life 360, but I never had a thought of going and trying to burn down a synagogue. It's just not in my nature. But even if he didn't have the Life 360 app and his father didn't report him, they still had him. Do not think for one second that the law enforcement agencies, the FBI specifically, and other organizations that you might have heard or might not have heard of, have the ability to go zoom right into your phone and go ahead and find out all of your data. They can take your GPS coordinations, they call it geofencing, and they can go ahead and just find out who's there. They can tell which way you're moving, which way you're walking, how fast you're walking. They can tell if you're using your phone. Dare I say they could actually probably tap in if they could get a warrant. And in this day and age, and don't get me wrong, we're going to talk about the judges, enemy of the people. We're going to talk about them later, but they have all this ability to do that. And it's just shocking to me to see how many people are surprised when you have apps downloaded on your phone that monitor your every breath. It monitors your heart rate. I don't understand how it can do that, but it does. It can sit there and tell you where you're driving to. It tells you how fast you're driving, whether you're driving aggressively or not aggressively. You know, this is like George Orwell. We just opened our eyes in 1984. Here we are. Here we are. Continuing on in here in the deal. It actually shows the cell phone text between the father and uh, the perpetrator of the crime. It's absolutely mesmerizing to me, and I feel really horrible because what's making this even worse is that he's invoking Jesus Christ in this and quoting Revelation. Thank you, Texter, who just snuck that in right before. Because I don't see anywhere in my Bible, maybe you can show me in your Bible, where we're supposed to go take up arms and start burning stuff down. I don't see where Christ tells me to do that, but if he's telling you to do that, I'd just like you to point that out to me. If they can do that to a synagogue, can they do it to a church? Could they do that to a Hindu temple? What else can they go after? And this leads into a bigger point that I wanna talk about. It is what is happening online. It's what's happening around our nation's education systems. We already got phone calls. Let's go ahead and try one. Go ahead, caller, you're on the air.
You talking about the Christians, the guy that burnt down the synagogue?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what did the Israelis do in Gaza when they blew up like a 200-year church, 200-year-old church in Gaza?
Are you talking about?
Nobody said anything about that. And you're a Christian, man.
Wait. Hold on. Are you talking about what? No, don't. Nope. Got to ask you. I'm gonna bring you back up, but listen to what I'm saying here. Are you talking about St. Peter's Basilica?
Whichever Catholic church was over there that the Israelis bombed and blew up, plus 230 Christians that they killed in Gaza.
And how many in Nigeria too?
How many Southern Christian men stood up and said, "Hey, that ain't right"?
I did.
But when you did,
absolutely. If you've been listening, you've been talking about how critical I am.
It's a shame that a man took the synagogue as a focus on retaliation on whatever he was thinking. I do not condone anything about hurting somebody's religion. But when a group of people does massive destruction on another person, people, and the Christians got caught up in it and they didn't get no satisfaction of us Christians as Southern Christians standing up and saying that ain't right. You know, somewhere down the line, it's got to be said that, you know, Christians need to stand up for Christians no matter where they're at.
Oh, I agree with you on that, but I'm not going to stand up with a guy who firebombed a synagogue.
That ain't right. And, like you were saying a little while ago, ain't no, you know, how God, you know, God is God. You know, maybe Jesus Christ told him to do it. Who knows?
I would have a hard time believing.
Okay, maybe God put him in a place where he didn't need to be, but it might have been in God's hands to show, you know, get the conversation out there.
I don't think God would put anybody in there. He'll allow you to use your free will to go do something stupid, and God knows you're going to use your free will to do something stupid. But God is God. God is good. He's never going to do anything to go ahead and cause strife or pain. That's not what God's about.
So when another religion uh, persecutes Christians that believe in God and Jesus, their Lord Savior, and we as Christians don't stand up and as a Christian stand up and say that's not right. Why are you doing this? And we condone their actions. You know, the conversation's got to get started. You know,
Absolutely.
Israel is oh,
Absolutely, brother. The conversation has to get started. But the conversation, this is where I struggle with my faith, and you just tell me what you think about this. I struggle when we don't have good Christian men who refuse to go and sit on a school board and that will not stop the pornography and the LGBTQ agenda being shoved down our throats. I struggle when good Christian women go to the state house to represent Christian values, which this country was
okay,
founded upon. Hold on, let me finish real quick.
okay. There you go. That's a good conversation to get into. Why don't you do a long research, and I have, on how all of that pornography and transgender came about. It started in Poland and in Germany. Research
Do
the
you really?
beginnings of that.
Let me ask you this, because you really like kind of lit a fire in my brain. Do you really think pornography started in Poland and Germany? Do you think that's where it really started?
Probably not. Probably ancient Rome and ancient Greece.
Doesn't the Bible say that prostitution is the oldest profession? Do you not think that this lustful uh, uh, growth throughout humanity has always been there? We just have new ways of expressing it, just like we have
And
new.
that's where John. That's when Jesus come about, and we found our way of Jesus Christ, right? Okay, but that's what I'm saying. There's a system that a few groups of people took to try to tear down the Christian man.
Oh, absolutely. They're going after the strong Christian man because we're supposed to be the head of the household. We're supposed to lead. But when we don't
Okay,
do those things, wait a sec, let me
when
finish it up here. We got to have this conversation. But when men don't do that, other things start happening, right? And in America, this has been a long game. Like if you've been listening to the show, you've heard me say that politics is a long game. The devil plays a long game. This has been a long game in the works. You know, just like with the pornography, you can go back to Poland and Germany, but I would say you could go back even further. But it is incumbent upon us as Christian men to say, look, what happened in the synagogue at the synagogue was wrong. He should have never
yep,
invoked.
that's wrong.
He should have never invoked Christ as King and made this into a religious, a Christian Jewish battle, because it's not. This is got a problem with his own heart and his own spirit, and I don't want his own heart and his own spirit being tainted on any of us who are out there trying to walk the walk that we're doing. You know what I mean?
You're right. It's a shame that young, I don't know if he's black or white,
He's
went
white
and done this.
from Madison.
From Mass. Okay, now I live in Yazoo County. There was a couple of churches were burnt in Yazoo County not so long ago, about 4 or 5 years ago. They caught the guys and all that, and they, you know, uh, it was a shame.
It is.
When a person takes aim at a religion, there's got to be some kind of explanation or a conversation that needs to be opened up.
I completely agree with that. And brother, I genuinely appreciate the phone call because unless we have real open dialogue like you and I are having right now, even though we probably hit on the same side of the bat, uh, same side of the plate 99% of the time, when we have those disagreements, it's important that we have that open dialogue, you know. And I just want to say thank you for calling.
You're welcome. Thank
Yep, yep. Ladies and gentlemen, that is how we make America better. That is how we do it. But and he's got a point, you know, with what Israel's doing in Gaza. You know, I'm not happy with that either. I've had pastors reach out to me say, Andy, you're sounding a little bit, going off the ranch. And we're going to talk about that when we come back from this commercial break. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We will be right back. Oh, yeah. Welcome back to the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB, where I will not let you down. And, comments are coming in all over the place saying, talking about the whole episodes we did where we were talking about how Israel is troubled. Is Israel acting like a people or as a nation state, because there is a difference between the two. And there were a lot of pastors who didn't like that, but it has to be gone about that way. And again, I think it's better for us to talk about it than for us taking up arms and going in and start wiping people out or taking down synagogues or churches for that matter. We've got to go ahead, and Brother Rick makes a great point. You've got to go ahead and defeat the ideas, not the symbols. And that is so true. You have to beat the ideas, because right now in the ideological world, in the war of ideas, we're losing. And every once in a while, I sit there and I wonder, is things really working out a certain way? Yesterday, I had this audio clip that I worked on really hard, and I ended up not saving it to my thumb drive. I ended up saving it at home. And I'm like, man, that really would have worked out great yesterday. But I think it works out even greater today. And again, that's just how it works out sometimes. This is an audio clip, and I want to go ahead and play this for you. It is about 2 hours, 2 minutes and 30 seconds long. I'm not normally I like busting it up, but when we get back, you're going to understand why this is so pertinent as it is right now.
I'm here at San Francisco State University, one of the most left-leaning intersectional schools in the country. I'm here to raise money to kill Jews. It's money for arms and weapons to fight back against the Jews, operations against the Jews, but around the world, in France, in Germany, here, in Britain, wherever they are, but here and in Europe, we want to raise arms so we can strike them all over the world. We have to hit these people hard.
Yeah.
And we want to fund operations against soft targets. Schools, hospitals, Jewish cafes, hospitals, Jewish schools, Jewish buses, synagogues, that kind of thing. Targets that can make them really feel it, attack, blow things up.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
We have to strike back.
Yeah.
We can't
I definitely agree.
All we have are rockets and suicide bombers and that kind of thing. The suicide bomber.
Because it's like part of their religion, like they wanted to take over.
People are evil in these worlds, so you know what I mean.
That's what we have to strike back.
Yeah, most definitely.
So you think it's economic, or you think it's the religion motivating them?
I think it's a mix.
Keeping them controlled with like genocide. A lot of people think they're superior to others, you know what I mean? So they think
They're superior.
Yeah, a lot of them think that.
Jew-premacy.
I think their behavior and the actions are evil. Says they want the land. It's a money thing.
I don't know. I'm just having a class.
You agree with what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
But yes, I would totally be down.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, I agree with you.
I mean, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
By hitting these targets.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
I like what you're saying. I would love to help.
You want to spread the word too?
Spread the word for sure. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
God bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't have money to give, but if you need word
But
of mouth,
moral support you can give me.
yeah,
And just you can spread the message.
like promotions, like putting on a story or something.
How much money would you be able to do? It's tax deductible.
Couple bucks.
Like $5.
Also $5? Like $5.
$5.
Well, yeah, 5, 10. Probably like $5.
$5 is great. 10?
Yeah, like 5 to 10. Like $15 right now.
Say $15.
That'd be amazing.
Like $15-$20 probably.
That'd be great.
Cool 20.
20? Come on, brother. Come on, brother.
I don't really have a job right now, so
Okay.
I would do like maybe $20.
$20.
I'd do 20.
$20.
Or 30.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Peace and love.
Yes.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
No
Peace
problem.
and love.
Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah, just evil. Straight up evil.
I couldn't have said it better myself. The rhetoric and demonizing Jews we have seen globally has led to this. 28 out of 35 people that I engaged in conversation with expressed support for what I was doing. And 17 out of 35, nearly 50% of people I spoke with, offered me money to kill Jews.
You can't make this up, ladies and gentlemen. This is from San Francisco University. This video came from PragerU and a guy named Avi Horowitz. He's on X. You can go there. You notice I had to bring in Donna the Duck for one spot there. There was a slight curse word. And my promise to Matt is as long as I go ahead and bleed out everything, I can use some video and audio that normally wouldn't make the censor cut. But then you wonder how this kid out of Madison, Mississippi, I'm just going for his name right here, Pittman, Stephen Pittman. We wonder how Stephen Pittman gets the idea to go ahead and burn down a synagogue. He hasn't even made it to San Francisco University or Ole Miss or Mississippi State or Southern Mississippi or LSU. He's not even there yet. What's going on in our campuses? What's going on in our universities? Do you know what's going on your child's cell phone? Do you? All right, we got another call. Let's take it. Why not? Go ahead. You're on the air.
Hi, Mr. Carlson. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful and blessed. You doing good today, ma'am?
I am. What you just played, the man, I guess, that was
Doing those
want
interviews?
people to strike out at the Jews. Was that? Was that? I mean, it wasn't a joke. It wasn't nothing funny about it. But was that something that they are really trying to start, or was it somebody just showing how easy it would be to start something like that?
That is and what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this to my X account here in about 15 minutes at the top of the hour. Well, no, more like 30 minutes at the top of the hour. And so that you can download it and watch it yourself, because I left the video in it as well. This is, you know how people go to
Okay.
Yep.
I can't download it. All I have is a flip phone. I don't do no technology of any kind.
That's all right. That's
I
all
only
right.
have the but I was shocked to hear it either way. But then by the time at the end, I think he was just trying to show how eager people would be to get involved in something like that.
You know, our kids, these are all late millennials and Zoomers, Generation Z. These kids, I want to stress to people, they're not ignorant. They are the most technologically connected generation of humans that we've ever seen, and they have.
And that's part of a small part, but part of the trouble.
Oh.
They've been raised, by a phone.
Yep, they've been raised by an
or
iPad and a cell
or
phone.
something.
Absolutely, mom and
But-
dad aren't being the major people who are instilling the values. It's the cell phone.
And I tell you, this whole situation with the way the left acts and all that. For a long time, I tried to figure them out, and I'm like, you can't figure these people out. The best thing I come up with was it was probably a lot of inbreeding going on, since they don't like nobody but themselves.
Who was that?
And I do think that's part of it, but I also think that there is a nationwide, maybe worldwide, satanic cult
Oh, absolutely. And
operating, and causing a lot of this stuff. I mean, and they love it. It attracts them.
absolutely.
When somebody starts talking like that to me, I'm like, look, I got to go. It might lightning. I don't want to be by you. I'm not going to sit and listen. I'm just not.
Well, ma'am, I agree. Go ahead.
I won't keep your time. I just I was shocked to hear that.
Yeah, and there's
I shouldn't have been.
there's so much more of it out of there that we are not even seeing. And I really appreciate your phone call today.
Thank you.
Yep, have a blessed one.
Appreciate you.
And that lady's not wrong. She's living her life, doing her thing, and she's working hard, doing her 9 to 5. It's probably more like a 7 to 7, but you get the point. And she hears something like this, and you're like, oh my goodness. Then there's another segment of people, maybe perhaps a greater percentage of this listening audience, who is spiritually attuned to this and aware of what's happening. But there's a even bigger section, absolutely enormous section out there, who not only know that this is going on, but is supporting it. And people can make fun of us all they want. They say, oh, demons and devils, that's all hogwash. There's no God. There is. And it's just a matter of time before it happens. And we always do cover breaking news on this show, but this is just sad news, and we'll just go to the break with this. Scott Adams, the creator of Dilbert, just passed away. Just getting it now on my timeline, and that's a sad day. But when we get back, we're going to continue on this. We're going to continue to talk about the moves that are happening here in the natural and then also in the supernatural. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We will be right back.
WYAB.
Fox News commentary with Josh Holmes. Next.
I'm alpine skier Michaela Schifrin. I've won the most World Cup ski races in history. But what does success mean to me? Success means discipline. It's teamwork. It's the drive and passion inside of us. And it's why Stifel is one of the fastest growing global wealth management firms in the country. If you're looking for success, surround yourself with the people who will get you there. If you're an advisor or investor, choose Stifel, where success meets success.
Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated. Member SIPC and NYSE. Past performance is no indication of future results. Investing involves risk. Consult a financial advisor before making any investment decisions.
From the Ruthless Podcast, here's Josh Holmes.
These guys, they keep talking about this as it's a political problem. I mean, that's like saying Maduro had an international trade issue. Of course it's a political problem, but it's only a political problem because they have a problem. They presided over an $8 billion fraud of American taxpayers, Minnesota taxpayers, and their budget is only $13 billion in the first place in Minnesota. This is a scandal the likes of which Minnesota has never seen before. And the only question remaining is whether they're just too dumb and negligent or whether they're actually criminal. I would suggest that this is part of a business model that we've seen nationwide by an awful lot of progressive Democrats that use your taxpayer dollars like fun coupons to go try to buy up constituencies that they think are vulnerable and that they can control.
For more commentary like this, go to foxnewspodcast.com.
It's no secret the Honda and Acura vehicles are some of the best built and most popular vehicles in America. Both Clinton Body Shops are ProFirst certified to repair your Honda or Acura to the high standard of safety and appearance your car was designed to meet. Visit collision.honda.com and watch the videos that explain why it's so important to choose a body shop certified by North American Honda. In Clinton or in Richland, choose Clinton Body Shop. We work for you. We take pride in perfection.
Burgers, blues, barbecue, the name says it all. At our spots in Madison, downtown Brandon, and Flowood at Dogwood, dive into mouth-watering, award-winning burgers and barbecue like our tender brisket and savory pulled pork that'll have you licking your fingers clean. Our B3 Catering Company can handle any job from 5 to 5,000 people and with 2 food trucks ready for all your special events. Check out the all-new burgersblues.com to view our full menu, order carryout, and delivery by locally owned Take-A-Break deliveries.
Need to ship something fast, print something now, or wrap the perfect gift? Head to the Mailroom Gluckstadt, your one-stop shop for all major shipping carriers. We pack and ship with care, offer private mailbox rentals, copy services, create and print banners, print your photos, lamination, binding, and secure document shredding. We always have a notary available, and we do gift wrapping too. Head to the Mailroom Gluckstadt across from Callaway's or online at mailroomgluckstadt.com. Stop in today and get it all done in one place.
If you want the best health care, where do you go? The Mayo Clinic. If you want the best care for your vehicle, where do you go? Mayo Auto Clinic in Raymond. Mayo Auto Clinic does foreign and domestic vehicles and diesel repair. Mayo Auto Clinic has ASE certified techs with over 25 years of experience. You can extend the life of your car or truck when you take it to Mayo Auto Clinic. For cost-effective repairs and maintenance, go to the best, Mayo Auto Clinic. Open weekdays at 7 a.m. Highway 18 in Raymond.
Looking for the perfect spot to unwind with friends and family? El Patrio Mexican Restaurant is calling your name. With locations in Flowood and Cross Gates, Brandon, El Patrio is the cozy, family-owned gym where great food meets great times. Enjoy El Patrio's signature margaritas and happy hour specials that keep their customers coming back for more. Indulge in their authentic Mexican dishes prepared with love and served in a warm, family-friendly atmosphere. Come to El Patrio and taste the traditions. El Patrio, where family, flavor, and fun come together.
And we are back here at the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. You know, in the last segment, we were talking, and in the earlier segment too, we had great calls, but we were talking about the kids and where they're getting their education from. And I think this is going to be a great segue and a great example of what these kids are going up against. And I'm telling you right now, when you hear this, you're going to understand. And we've got by the way, we have a brand new sponsor coming to WYAB. Really excited. BroadStreetKingCakes.com. Yes, and if you haven't heard their commercial yet, I want to give them some airtime. I want you to listen to the nostalgia hit on this. This is just a great commercial.
Broad Street King Cakes, pass that plate. Broad Street King Cakes taste so great. From Jackson Town to every state, bestkingcake.com, don't wait. Lines out the doorway, laughter in the air, hidden little baby waiting in there somewhere. From now till Mardi Gras, you know where to be. Or click that link and make your kitchen Bourbon Street. Broad Street King Cakes, pass that plate. Broad Street King Cakes taste so great. From Jackson Town to every state, bestkingcake.com, don't wait.
Isn't that a great commercial, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, the singers, the music, the nostalgia hit. He's got that 1940s, 50s, 60s radio vibe. All AI, generated in 1 minute and 12 seconds. And you wonder why our kids are so messed up. They can't tell right from left, up from down. They don't know what's real and what's not. And I know many of you thought that was real humans doing that. Our station owner, Matt Wazlowski, was the one who built it up, created that whole commercial. And Broad Street King Cakes liked it so much they have a male voice for it too. I don't have that commercial. But if you're looking for a king cake, definitely go visit Broad Street King Cakes. Let them know that you heard their commercial on WYAB.com. I get so many texts, and I won't call them insults, but they're definitely not happy with me worrying about AI. But when I look at this, when I see something like this, it makes total sense why our kids are completely checked out. And they don't know what's up and what's down, what's left and what's right. I could say a lot of other words, but it wouldn't be fit for the radio. But just because I'm thinking them and you're thinking them doesn't mean that we necessarily have to say it. You've got kids being influenced by all sorts of different things. They're being subjected to media every day. And look, when we were growing up, when this internet thing just started, it wasn't that they were just spamming advertisements everywhere. They were targeting us. But it's gone to the new generation of warfare, just like we've talked about 4th and 5th generation warfare. This is next generation advertising because they're no longer targeting your kids. They're suggesting things to your kids. They're suggesting things to your kids through music, through the media that they watch, the games that they play, the things that they read. And look, we were all kids once. Let's not be so stupid that we don't get attracted to certain subjects more than others. Especially when we hit that about 11, 12-year-old mark, things really start changing. Now you've got a 5-year-old being subjected to something like this. And I'm not talking about the King Cake commercial. That's a great commercial. My two mommies, my two daddies, my sister's girlfriend, my brother's boyfriend. You've got these kids going to school with teachers who have no real desire to teach them the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, reading, writing, and arithmetic. No. They want to teach them about the agenda, the LGBTQ agenda. They want to teach about racism and privilege and not history and reality. It's not about the reality of 1 + 1 = 2. It's about how you feel. There's a mirror in the wall on the wall there. What do you feel like today, little Johnny? I feel like a dinosaur. You're a dinosaur today. Be the best dinosaur you can be. And meanwhile, all this affirmation that we're piling on these kids and not teaching them the realities of life is causing a great, great disconnect. And if you want to see how bad that disconnect really is, look no further than the anti-ICE raids raging all around this nation. You look at these people. Some of them are in there. You've got boomers, but you've got 30s and 40 somethings, and you've got kids. You're talking about generational loss. Generational loss. I mean, we are so disconnected. Our own Senate and Congress cannot stop the fraudulent spending. You've got people like Tom Tillis, Senator Tom Tillis from North Carolina, threatening to block anything that Trump tries to do with the Fed because he's not happy with President Trump, even though he's not running for re-election because he knows he would lose in North Kakalaki. It's absolutely horrible. It's terrible. And just like the first caller said, he made a very spiritual argument. And brother, I continue to agree with you. And my only regret is I didn't ask you to call back. But when you've got something else that we're talking about, you're always welcome to call back. Same with that nice lady who called. We have to start taking accountability, not for everybody, but for my brothers and my sisters in Christ, for my family, and most importantly, our children. And if you're not sure what you're supposed to be doing, go read Proverbs and go read Ephesians. It'll give you the basic guidance. You can get a lot deeper into it. I'm telling you, the more and more that these craziness, supernatural ideas come into the earth, the more and more you're going to see kids start leaning towards spirituality. This poor Stephen Pittman kid, he is about to experience a life full of woe. And it would be really interesting to see, and we'll find it out because, yes, he did drop his phone in the fire, but the police did recover the cell phone. So that's one thing. But number two, your cell phone data is locked up there in the internet somewhere. All those texts, all those different things, it's all going to come out. And it's going to be really sad, but at the same time compelling to see what this kid was consuming to make him do the things that he did. And where were the parents in all this? I mean, at some point, parents have to be responsible for their kids. I'm not saying that if the parents didn't know about it, they should be also charged because that's not right. We don't punish kids for the crimes of their parents, just like we don't punish parents for the crimes of their kids, but they do have to be responsible for them. And I don't know because I haven't read all the details on the synagogue burning. I took more of a spiritual view on this. But if those parents aided and abetted in this kid helping him hatch this plan, well, there needs to be questions asked about that. And I know how tough it is raising kids these days. My 17-year-old daughter, oh my goodness. I like to tell the joke that this one gray hair on top of my head, I know the camera's off today so you can't see it, but I'm pointing to it. This gray hair right here, that's my son Andrew. The other gray hair over here, that's my son Austin. This gray hair over here, that's my son Noah. And all of these other gray hairs, that's my daughter Toots McCracken. She gives me gray hairs. Not because she's a bad kid, but just the level of importance and responsibility that I feel upon myself to make sure that I raise a daughter who is godly and understands what's important in life and what's not important in life. What's important in life is having good moral values. Being proud that you don't have a body count. Being proud that she doesn't dress like a hoe. Those are the good things. It's not important to have the likes, the clicks, the retweets. What are you instilling into your kids and what values are you bringing to your family? What are the things are you finding important? And I mean, I've had to ask these questions of myself too, so I'm not trying to like make anybody feel bad, but I had to make a decision. Is it more important for my daughter to be an Arsenal fan or go to church on Sunday morning? Because we could go watch the Arsenal games. Sometimes they're on Sunday morning. But I digress. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. We will be right back.
They're saying about Corcoran Door Company.
I'm going to yell out to one of your sponsors here, Corcoran Door. When the guy came out here, instead of just trying to throw a door up, he was looking at the way the house was facing. Man, with this double garage here on the south side, you might want to consider a insulated door. I came in earlier today about 2:30. The car thermometer said 99 degrees. The thermometer inside the garage was 82.
That's why they've been around 50 years.
Yeah.
CorkandDoor.com. CORKERN door.com.
I'm speaking with Lee Bounds of Rapid Rate Mortgage. How does real estate agent Rita Jensen succeed when time is of the essence?
In today's market, it is so important to communicate and close on time. Typically have 30 days to close, get a home inspection, appraisal, title work, that kind of thing is a mortgage process. And a realtor relationship is so important. With a realtor like Rita Jensen with Remax Connection, she helps us to close on time.
RitaJensen.net.
Looking to elevate your ride? Weston Automotive and Rick's Pro Truck have you covered. From rugged bumpers to sleek step bars, Weston's top-notch accessories will transform your truck into a head-turner. And at Rick's Pro Truck, we specialize in custom installations that bring your vision to life. Visit us today for expert advice and unbeatable deals. Weston Automotive and Rick's Pro Truck, where your truck's potential comes alive. Weston and RPT. Trucks live here.
Social Security belongs to you. You work hard and pay into it. So it's only fair for you to expect to get the money you've earned to help cover living expenses and bills, and not for politicians to use as a piggy bank. That's why AARP is fighting to protect your Social Security so you get what you've earned. Learn more at aarp.org/youearnedit. That's aarp.org/youearnedit. Paid for by AARP.
Albritton's Jewelers. When love requires a gift, nothing says it better than Albritton's. Since 1920, we've been part of your family. From weddings and anniversaries to holidays, we've been there for every special occasion. At Albritton's, we value your trust. Every gift, whether large or small, is a reflection of our commitment to quality and excellence. There's a reason we're still Mississippi's foremost diamond merchant. Let us show you why. Albritton's Jewelry, 4460 Old Canton Road in Jackson. Albritton's Jewelers.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
Have you thought about the cost of long-term care? In Mississippi, a home health aide can cost over $57,000 a year, and a private nursing home room can exceed $109,000 annually. Hi, my name is Cressley Pierce at Pierce Professional Agency. Long-term care insurance may help protect your savings and give you more options and peace of mind as you age. Learn how planning ahead could save you money and stress. Find me, Cressley Pierce, online today at MadisonPlans.com. That's MadisonPlans.com.
Why should you choose Ceramic Air Conditioning and Heating for all service or installation? Well, they purchase all parts directly from the manufacturer. All of their factory-trained technicians have been hand-selected for skill, work ethic, and experience. There are never any hidden fees or charges. Ceramic Air Conditioning and Heating is dedicated to your complete satisfaction, and they're family-owned and operated. For residential and commercial service or installation, contact Ceramic Air Conditioning and Heating, 601-317-0729, or make an appointment through their Facebook page.
And we are back. Where does the time go, ladies and gentlemen? Where does the time go? I so treasure the time that we get to spend together. And in this show, we're just getting started. In the next hour, we're going to talk about Iran and what's happening over there, and juxtapose that to what's happening over here in the United States. I kind of talked about it briefly yesterday, but that's one of the things that we're going to talk about. We've got to talk about the Super Bowl. We don't know who's going to be playing in it yet, but we do know who's the major sponsor of the Super Bowl, and we're going to break into that. We're going to talk about the Citizens Free Press. It's one of the places I go every day when I'm show prepping. I actually go to it the night before. I'll start my show prep. Not that you guys really are concerned about this, but it normally starts at around 8 o'clock the day before, and I get a kind of a precursor of what's going on, and then figure out what exactly interests me and what I think will interest you, and we'll put that all together. And then we'll go ahead and wake up in the morning. And Citizens Free Press has been a really big portion of my show prep. I enjoy it. Not that I read every story, but there's some good stuff in there. But I've noticed lately that the Citizens Free Press is updating slower and slower. I used to call it the new version of the Drudge Report. It's kind of got the same feel, definitely uses the same type of font. You can see it if you go to it, citizensfreepress.com. Absolutely love it. But I wish it would update more. And there might be room out there. So we're going to talk about the Citizen Free Press a little bit. We're going to talk about Neil Diamond, the price of silver, all sorts of great stuff coming up in the next hour. But as we move into this new year, 2026, let's not kid ourselves. We are truly in uncharted territory. Never in the history of humanity has so much information, good information, been in the palm of your hands. And never in the history of this nation, or humanity for that matter, has there been so much poor information in your hand that you can completely destroy your natural life and your supernatural one as well. We continue to talk about this here at the Andrew Gosser Show. We're not afraid to talk about it here on the Andrew Gosser Show. We're grounded in reality. We're grounded in common sense. We're grounded with the love that we have for each other. Ladies and gentlemen, we are just getting started on the Andrew Gosser Show. Stay tuned for the next hour. We will be right back.
CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan. The battle between former President Clinton, his wife, and a top Republican over a subpoena to testify about Jeffrey Epstein just escalated.
After former President Clinton didn't show up to testify in a congressional probe today, Republican House Committee Chair James Comer told reporters,
"We will move next week in the House Oversight Committee markup to hold former President Clinton in contempt of Congress."
Both the former president and former first lady refused to appear, accusing Comer of being on the cusp of a process literally designed to result in our imprisonment. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
Iran state TV says there are martyrs among the thousands dead in protests. CBS's Aaron Navarro on what's being said here at home.
President Trump, with a new Truth Social out in it, he wrote, quote, "Iranian patriots keep protesting. Take over your institutions." He goes on to add, "I have canceled all meetings with Iranian officials until the senseless killing of protesters stops. Help is on its way." President Trump did not take questions on this when asked by reporters here at the White House before he left for Detroit.
Well, Trump will make an economic speech on that trip. As he left the White House, he took a swipe at Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell and the Fed's building renovations.
He's billions of dollars over budget. So he either is incompetent or he's crooked. I don't know what he is, but he doesn't do a very good job.
And he praised a new inflation report that showed it was mostly unchanged at 2.7% in December. Sam Goldfarb of the Wall Street Journal.
Even though the headline prices were unchanged at 2.7%, so-called core prices, which strip out or volatile categories that just kind of bounce around, food and energy, that was a little less than expected. So all in all, modestly encouraging report to end the year.
CBS's Michael Wallace reports the Supreme Court is weighing state bans on transgender girls and women playing school athletic teams.
The two cases involve athletes at a high school in West Virginia and at Boise State University in Idaho. Idaho Attorney General Alan Hurst defended his state's ban before the justices.
Tragically, but not surprisingly, male athletes have even injured female athletes in many sports. If women don't have their own competitions, they won't be able to compete.
The attorney for the Boise State student argued her client suppressed her testosterone and has been taking estrogen for over a year, so she does not have a competitive advantage over other women.
The man behind Dilbert has died.
Oh, hello, Dilbert. Hello, Dilbert. Nothing. Were you just reading a book? Are you
on TV and in comic strips? Dilbert poked fun at the workplace. Creator Scott Adams was 68 and had cancer. Wall Street right now, the Dow is down. This is CBS News.
Real crimes, real justice. Follow and listen to 48 Hours on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Let's go! You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things, people.
News this hour is brought to you by the Rusty Healy Agency in Madison. Call Landon Thompson at 601-856-3681 to request a quote or learn more.
The accused arsonist won't be getting out for now. You can expect a sunny day with a high at 60. Tonight, the low is 43 with a 20% chance for showers. Wednesday, the high is 58 with another 20% rain chance. A front drops the temperature into the upper 20s for Wednesday night. You've got news on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis. A hospital bed is where 19-year-old Spencer Pittman of Madison faced a judge for the first time Monday on charges he set the fire at Congregation Beth Israel, Jackson's only synagogue. He's expected to get out of the hospital Wednesday, but will stay in custody. He's got 2 hearings scheduled for next Tuesday afternoon. The injuries are from the fire he's accused of setting, and he faces a possible 2-decade sentence if convicted. Meanwhile, in Clay County, a man accused of murdering 6 people Friday night was also in court for the first time Monday, and he now faces 3 charges of capital murder and a host of other charges. 24-year-old Derek Amore will stay in custody and will also have a mental evaluation soon. His victims included a 7-year-old girl cousin and a pastor and his brother. In the Ted DiBiase Jr. trial, former Mississippi Department of Human Services head John Davis offered testimony Monday, which included messages about the deal where DiBiase and others would get TANF funds meant for needy families to provide training courses, which prosecutors say was improper and for which DiBiase did not intend to actually do the work. An inmate identified as 28-year-old Adrian Cordell McCleary of Utah died in his cell at the Federal Correctional Institution medium security prison in Yazoo City just after midnight Sunday, say authorities there. They say guards and medics tried life-saving measures to no avail. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis.
The views and opinions expressed on this program
Yes, you are tuned into the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. And we're streaming on Rumble. We're streaming on X. We're streaming on YouTube. And we're streaming at WYAB.com. So if you can't pick up the radio signal, you always got us on the stream. If you haven't followed me on X, YouTube, Rumble, why not? It's easy. It's just a click. I'd really appreciate it. Follow me at Andrew Gosser on X, ANDREWGASSER. All gas, no brakes. We know that's right. And the number, if you want to be part of the program today, it's easy. It's 601-879-0002. The text line is open, and I've got some great texts. 601-879-5060. Today is Tuesday, January 13th, 2026, and the mission here at the Andrew Gosser Show is standard. We're here to equip the saints. Who are the saints? Y'all are the saints. And this is just, even speaking more after listening to the first hour of the show today, this proverb is even sticking more on my heart. A desire fulfilled is sweet to the soul, but to turn away from evil is an abomination to the foolish. And isn't that the truth? When people get right in life, evil is often angry and upset. Things start popping up in life, and it's just crazy. And we've got to be able to push through that. My good friend, and honestly, he really is a good friend. He has given me wise counsel, and some people either like him or they don't, but I will always defend him, and he is my friend. Brother Spencer Ritchie, the chairman of the GOP in Hinds County, is looking for election judges on March 10th. We have a Republican primary. Now, unlike all of you good folk in Rankin, Yazoo, Madison, Copiah, Warren, and elsewhere across Mississippi, your election judges run your primaries. But here in Hinds County, the Republican Party runs their own elections because we don't like the Dominion voting machines. And so it's up to us. It's up to us as Republicans to run the election. And we need poll workers. There are 107 precincts in Hinds County. And if you want to be a poll worker, and this is not a poll watcher, the difference between a poll watcher and a poll worker is absolutely fascinating. You know, every time as we're getting closer to the election, say, be a poll watcher, be a poll watcher. That really doesn't do anything for you. Being a poll worker is where it is at, because you're the one actually checking people into the election. You're the one actually checking the IDs, verifying everything is right. If you're a poll watcher, you're sitting there watching the people do the job, but you can't really see what's going on. Moreover, if the poll workers say you've got to go sit in the corner over here because you're in the way, they can do that. And if you continue to be a nuisance, even though you're doing the right thing, they can go call the sheriff and have you escorted off of the polling location. So it really does pay to be a poll worker. You're sitting at the desk, you're checking people in. I'm not going to lie to you. You know, people who serve the military understand what a long day is. And we do so willingly. It's a choice we make. We do so willingly. We're not drafted per se, at least not right now. We do so willingly. Being a poll worker is kind of the same ethos, same mentality. You can go ahead and you're going to have a long day. It's going to start at about 5:30 in the morning. It's going to be done at about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. But you are going to be securing the election in the Republican primary in Hinds County. If you want to do something like that, just go ahead and text me election worker to the text line 601-879-5060. I'll make sure you get hooked up with all the right people. And there is a bonus to this. You do end up getting a small stipend, $225 for your day. Some people that means a lot to. Some people say, I can't do it because I can't take any time off of work. Can't lose the money. Well, $225 in the day. I'm not saying that you make less than that or you make more than that, but it is an option. And the more people we bring into the process of learning how elections work, the better off it's going to be. This is a great way to do that. We're going to take this phone call right here. Go ahead. You're on the air. Hey, turn down your radio real quick. Turn down your radio. Thank you.
I turned down. Curiosity, do they have Dominion voting machines in Hinds County? I didn't think we had it in Mississippi.
I think they're everywhere.
I was told by one of the guys in Rankin County that we don't have them out in Mississippi. So I don't know.
I will check that. I will check on that. I haven't. I've been an election worker before. I don't have the actual name of the machine in front of me right now, so I can't tell you that. But what I can tell you is that being an election worker is really critical, especially in the Republican primary, because that way we are actively checking in everybody who's doing that. We're not being able to fudge the things aside. I'm not saying it happens, but we all think that it happens. And it gives us the opportunity to control our own primary, and it's a really good deal. One of the things I didn't say, brother, is that if you do not live in Hinds County, you cannot be a Hinds County poll worker. That's a no-no.
That's a no-no. Okay.
Yeah, you get. Well, I would like to say you get in trouble in that, but apparently in the last election, they had some people from Hinds County working polls in Madison County, and they ended up getting paid. And you could talk to Chip Matthews about that. He has the whole lowdown on that.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Now, also, the sad thing about it is those machines, once you put it in, you don't know if it's changed or not, do you?
Well, here's how it's supposed to work. And I know this because I've gone through the training. So
hang up and listen to you, okay?
Yep, absolutely. Thank you for the phone call, my friend. So this is how it works. At the beginning of the day, at about 6:30 in the morning, we run something called the zero tape. And what it is when you turn on that computer, you run the zero tape to make sure that there are no votes tabulated in that machine. And you run it twice. You put one right by the machine and one by the exit. And that way you know that there have been no votes tallied. At the end of the day, you run the tape and it says how many votes are tallied in that machine and how many pieces of paper, how many ballots it actually scanned. And you're supposed to be able to audit that. That is supposed to be the check for that. I'm not necessarily, well, I'm just going to say this. I'm very skeptical right now that our machines are flawless and they do everything right. I just am. I've seen too many instances. I've seen too many Rumble videos. You won't find these videos on YouTube. You might find them on X, but you can watch videos on Rumble where people actually hack the Dominion machines and show you how you can use thumb drives that are not formatted to the Dominion machine to actually go in and break that. And it's just absolutely infuriating me, which is why so many of us are calling for mail-in or getting rid of mail-in balloting, but also paper ballots. And you know what? If we're paying poll workers $225 a day to run the polls, then we can have people come in and pay to go ahead and count the ballots. You know, that's just part of the deal. And if it costs us an extra bit of money to go ahead and conduct our elections, then that's what it costs. But we need to have accurate elections, not faulty ones. Another big thing about being an election worker, a poll worker, is that if you are 17 right now, today, January 13th, 2026, but you will be 18 by election day in November. I'm not sure which day election day is. I'm sure someone will tell me. But you can be a poll worker as a 17-year-old. And March 10th, I believe, is on spring break. So if there's a lot of you high school seniors out there looking to get paid $225 to do some meaningful work for your county and your state and your country, well, this might be a great time for you to think about being a poll worker. Again, if you want to do that, just text me at 601-879-5060. I'll reach out to you to make sure you want to do that. And then I will forward your name on to the Hinds County Republican primary or Hinds County Republican Party, and they'll contact you. They'll set you up with the day of training to make sure that you understand how the machines work. We do those normally at night, so most people who work during the day can get there at night. We do it at different times. And it's just a really great way to serve your community, especially when there's so many of us who feel like we can't serve in Hinds County because it's controlled by Democrats, which it is. But there's still things that you can do inside to help build the party to make it strong. And for people who just write Hinds County off every election cycle, just remember this. There are more Republicans in Hinds County than 24% of county's populations in Mississippi. We send the most delegates to the state Republican convention. I think we sent 24 and a half delegates. Don't ask me how they do halves. I just trust the math. But that's how it works. And if you've ever thought about being active in the local political system inside Hinds County, this is a great place to get started. And we'd love to have your help because there are 107 precincts inside Hinds County, and it is big. It is real big. And yes, there are a lot of us who have done this before. I've done it before. I know Spencer's done it before. People have been there before, and people like to beat up on us in Hinds County. But we're dealing with a very different set of challenges than people per se in Rankin County or DeSoto County or Jackson County or Madison County or just about any other county in the state. We got it, something special here. And maybe that's why God put me in Hinds County in Mississippi, because I've kind of gone through this war up in Illinois. But it does make a difference, and we do need your help, and we would appreciate it. So again, if anybody wants to do that, just give me a text, 601-879-5060. I'm sure I'll spend another segment doing this again. But right now, we're going to take our break because when we get back, it's important for you to be a poll worker and an election judge. But I'll tell you what, there are some other judges we need to talk about. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. You know that's right. We'll be right back. Yeah. Welcome back to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. And, we were talking about poll workers and election judges in the last segment. We got to talk about these judges here who are making rulings that are just absolutely out of this world. And I guess I'll just start here. Judges are supposed to interpret and uphold the law, not based on their feelings, not based on their political beliefs, but based on the Constitution of the United States and the laws that they were written in the time that they were written. People are always finding creative ways to twist and turn around rulings and turn the law and turn the court system into a weapon. I know I watched it happen to me back in 2017. It was absolutely brutal. And we are seeing the same thing happen over and over again. One thing I will say is people wonder why people aren't respecting law enforcement and our court system is because everybody sees, no matter whether you are a conservative Christian like myself or an Antifa leftist, everybody knows that if you've got the money, you can get out of just about anything, unless you're a pedo. Like that teacher up in DeSoto County who thought she could use her money in her favor to get a light sentence and came back in and thumped him. But it's got to be so egregious. It's got to be so over the top. Why hasn't anybody been charged with the Epstein files yet? Perfect example, right? There are numerous other examples going around right now where people who have had the favor, who have had the sway, the influence, they don't have to follow the same laws that you and I have to follow. Court says Trump admin illegally blocked billions in clean energy grants to Democratic states. In Washington, D.C., Judge Amit P. Mehta, I'm not sure that this is her home country, ordered the Department of Energy to restore 7 grants worth $276 million after ruling the cancellations unlawful. This is coming from Ground News. And I remember because we talked about this back in October. In October, 315 grants were terminated, ending support for 223 projects worth approximately $1.2 billion. Remember, we were talking about the Commonwealth of Virginia and how they had all those offshore solar power plants, or not solar, wind power plants being canceled? We talked about it. It also hurt Hinds County, too. Can't use farmland to build solar farms or wind farms. It took out both of them. With only 3 of 17 battery recycling projects in blue states cut. The court rejected the Department of Energy's Fifth Amendment defense, and the Department of Energy spokesman Ben Dietrich said that officials disagree and stand by our review process. So what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. And it's going to get appealed. But wait, there's more. Judge blocks Trump from freezing $10 billion in child family aid to 5 U.S. states. And this judge is at fault, but so is every U.S. congressman and U.S. senator who voted this crap in. We have fraud of biblical proportions happening inside the United States right now. Trillions of dollars being funneled out of the U.S. Treasury that should be taking care of people inside the United States. Instead, it's being well documented now that it's a Somali fraud ring. Listen to this. A federal judge ruled Friday that President Donald Trump's administration cannot block federal funds for child care subsidies to California, Colorado, Illinois, Minnesota, and New York, all with massive fraud problems. Nope, just keep paying the fraud. And look, I know I'm about to really go West Ham United on these judges, but let's not let the judges completely off the hook. Who else is also implicated in this lack of transparency, in this lack of justice? It's Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice. Sorry, not sorry. You got a year. We have absolutely nothing to hang our hat on. I've talked to several prosecutors inside of Mississippi and outside of Mississippi who said it shouldn't have taken this long. There is something gunked up in the works, and we need either an engine overhaul, an engine rebuild, flush the oil, flush whatever we got to flush. But the DOJ is failing the American citizen right now. The DOJ is failing the American taxpayer right now. When you have the DOJ failing to prosecute and judges implicitly in cahoots with the fraud scheme, you wonder why people get upset. You wonder why people get angry. You wonder why good people who never act out ever in their lives, who just want to live their lives, get so disenchanted and disconnected from the American way of life. Judge blocks Trump from freezing $10 billion in child, family, and aid to 5 U.S. states. The 5 states argued Tuesday's policy to freeze funds for these 3 grant programs is causing operational chaos. Well, you know what else is causing operational chaos? The ticking time bomb, the bomb that's going to shatter millions and millions of lives. That's called the U.S. federal debt. That's a ticking time bomb right there. And if we don't talk about it and we don't start doing stuff about it right now, well, then all of this is just lipstick on a pig. It's like those women who have their septums pierced and they have those big hog nose, and then they wonder why guys don't like them. I'm speaking for 98% of the men out there who think that nose rings like that, septum rings, are absolute ugly. The move specifically targets the Child Care Development Fund, the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, and Social Services Block Grants. And HHS said it paused funds because it had reason to believe the states granted benefits to undocumented immigrants. You think? And this is just since we're throwing the DOJ and these judges under the bus, let's not forget about the mainstream media that's so important to our First Amendment rights, the permission to have a free media. Our media has completely failed us. When you have a 23-year-old kid with no formal education from a university going out there and breaking arguably the biggest story of 2025 and 2026 at the Luring Center, who goes out and boasts, they don't got anything on me. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I'm a virgin and I don't date. What do they got on them? Nothing. So they just try to throw around their smears at other places. The 5 states say they received more than $10 billion a year from the programs which finance child care and subsidies, cash assistance, and job training that face the disruption if frozen. So what's going to happen to this? Well, it says the injunction remains in place until further court arguments are heard, with the dispute proceeding after Friday's filings and hearing. A U.S. Judge Arun Sarbrinian. Again, that's not necessarily the Honorable Judge David Smith. I'm wondering if these are all. I just wonder why these same judges, and they're all from the same district, the D.C. Circuit, the New York Circuit, the California Circuit. And I know I don't have the right numbers there, and forgive me, attorneys out there who are listening. But that's what it is. So how do I want to close this out when I'm sitting here complaining about these judges and how I say they're an enemy of the state and of the people? They are. Well, listen to this. The higher the court, the more likely it is that Trump is going to win. District Court of Appeals, 25% of the time, Trump wins. So that's where the liberals are fighting this war right now, is in the district courts. When it gets to the appeals court, 50% of the time, those district courts get overturned. And if it doesn't happen in the appellate court, it goes to the Supreme Court, where those 49% of cases that did not get overturned, well, 88% of those do get overturned. So Trump is ultimately winning most of these cases. But that doesn't tell the full story, because those of us who are on the outside looking in, we just get bombarded with all these headlines by the fake news media saying how, oh, we lose, we have these stays, we have these holds, we have these additional hearings. Again, to you, my friends, you hear this from me almost daily, and it's true. But politics is a long game, and the devil plays it. If they can get Trump to break just once, then we're in trouble. Andy, the DOJ's got to worry about arguing the Supreme Court. The DOJ can walk, chew bubblegum, pat its head, and rub its tummy at the same time. I just have very little remorse, or I really don't care about how the DOJ feels. I just want them to go get the pedophiles. I want them to go get the tax cheaters. I want them to go prosecute the criminals who need to be put behind bars. I want these judges to start ruling on the Constitution and not their feels. Am I asking too much? I don't think so. I don't think any of you all are thinking so. But yet, America, in 2026, here we are with a completely constipated DOJ. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. We will be right back. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, on the Andrew Gosser Show, right here on 103.9 WYAB. We're going to get to the Iran thing, but, right now the U.S. Supreme Court is hearing arguments about whether men can participate in women's sports. And James Woods says it best, the actor, listening now to the Supreme Court arguing about how many angels can dance on the head of a pin. Oh, wait, they're arguing whether or not a 240-pound guy can knock out a 90-pound high school girl on the soccer field, then turn around and take a shower with her later. What we've advanced since medieval times. And that's the truth. The fact that we have to have this argument about whether boys can play in girls' sports is absolutely infuriating. And again, this is the work of the devil. This is the work of the tolerant left. Because no father ever who had a daughter ever thought that a boy should be able to compete with her, because they just can't. You just can't. It's just how God made us. But I did want to talk about Iran and how they are really setting an example, quite frankly, of how to stand up against true tyranny. Yesterday I talked about it a little bit, but I did some brushing up on my history. The Islamic Revolution in Iran was spearheaded by elders of the Islamic faith inside Iran, but they depended upon the youth to make it happen. And now what's happening? The revolution that's happening there right now, they're following those who lived in Iran before 1979 in the Islamic Revolution. They're following people who knew what it was like to be free and have true liberty inside Iran before the revolution. And quite frankly, they're being persecuted for it. They're being slaughtered for it. You don't see ICE going there and just indiscriminately firing into a crowd. No, you've got a 37-year-old lesbian woman who's listening to directions from her lesbian wife saying drive, instead of following the commands of a lawful order, a police officer's lawful order. Stop, put the car in park, and get out of the vehicle. Now, there's some flowery language that I've taken the liberty to censor out, but we've all seen the video now. And even those who agree with the crazy lesbian driver have to acknowledge that before she was ever shot, she was ordered to stop and get out of the car. It's a lawful order. And the point I'm making about this is I see like Iran going one way and America going the other way. Because we are not in touch with reality, we're in touch with our feelings. It just doesn't make us feel good to watch that, Andrew. I actually got one of those texts. It just doesn't make me feel good to watch it. So it doesn't mean that what she did was right. You might not like it. And again, if I get the time this afternoon, I'm going to take the time to edit out the Chris Rock video about how to act when a police officer pulls you over. Because, and I'm not saying that there haven't been instances of this in our past history, but I would say in recent history, when people pull over when they're told to pull over, when they don't act the fool, and when they comply with peace officers, which we all agree to, especially if we're on the road, because remember, driving's not a right, it's a privilege. And when you sign your driver's license, you agree to follow the law. And you get pulled over, I've never known a police officer to sit there and just go ahead and blow somebody's head off. Just never heard about it. But we've all seen the video now. We all know what happened in Minnesota. And then we go ahead and we turn around and we're calling oppression. We're calling oppression here in the United States. But then you go and you juxtapose that to what's happening in Iran, where people are literally being set on fire, shot indiscriminately. And granted, some of them are fighting back. And they should. And we should rejoice. We should be thankful and grateful. You know, one of the fastest places on earth for the growing the faith of Christianity? Iran. You're not legally allowed to have Bibles there right now, but yet Christianity grows. It's just how it works. The more you're persecuted, the greater the faith grows. The less you're persecuted, the stronger Satan gets. And I'm just telling you, we don't have the levels of persecution here in the United States that you have over in, say, Iran or Nigeria. But this is coming from ground news. President Donald Trump announced that he has canceled meetings with Iranian officials amidst a crackdown on protests, stating that, quote unquote, help is on the way for Iranian citizens. Yep. Trump mentioned that he has threatened military action against Iran if the Islamic Republic continues to use deadly force against protesters. Andy, what's the difference between Iran and in Minnesota? Minnesota, you have law officers trying to go round up illegal aliens and criminals that are being protested, not by the entire segment of the U.S. population, but by a minority group of paid protesters. And I had that on the stack of stuff, and I don't know where I put it, but they actually have the letters now, proof that they've found of paid protesters. And that's why Trump is talking about going after these millionaires and billionaires who are funding this garbage. Yesterday, I said that they had at least 6,000 people confirmed, or 600 people confirmed dead in Iran from the protest. Now, Iran has seen more than 2,000 deaths, according to human rights monitors linked to the protests. And social media posts, Trump encouraged Iranian patriots to continue protesting and to take over your institutions. They should. And if you see how Islam is practiced when there is no controlling authority over it, when it's in a majority, it's horrible. You want your daughters mutilated? Sexually mutilated? You want that? Women, you want to be plowed like cows in the field? You want to go ahead and start subjecting yourself to the Sharia law, where you know your blue hair is no longer allowed, your nose rings are no longer allowed, and you need to wear either a hijab or a full burqa, depending if you go Shia or Sunni. You know, all these things that these left-wing protesters are complaining about and saying that the United States is, just get airdropped into one of these Muslim nations like Somalia and see how that works out for you. See how that works out for you. It's not going to end well for you, my friend. And there are stories all over, whether it be from England. They're even reporting this overseas in Al Jazeera. Of course, the Jerusalem Post covers it, but then again, you have people like this kid who firebombed the synagogue saying, "Oh, it's the Jews." It's not the Jews. It's actually a frightening time to live right now. If you just kind of sit back, you just sit back in your chair, lean back a little bit, maybe take a sip of water, Diet Coke for the working man, and you look at how the things that they're accusing people of is actually happening in places we do not want to be. It's not even like the king wears no clothes. It's like it's opposites day. It's to the point to where, what can we trust? And the next generation of warfare of this is to bring AI into it all. At some point, there's going to be one of these protests in America where they're going to use AI in real time to change something. And it's going to get leaked out there. It's going to fire everybody up. It's going to cause a mass protest. And by the time we find out that it's AI, it's already going to go on around the world 4 or 5 times. I mean, thank God for all those individual cameras that uploaded those pictures of what happened in Minneapolis the other day. Thank God we had all those angles. Because just a few short years ago, 15 years ago, something like that would have happened. We would have only trusted ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox News, CNN, and MSLSD/BS always. And there's this other study that I didn't get a real good chance to talk about it today, but I'll bring it up. There's a study out there that says Gen X and boomers are suffering from AI anxiety. Heck, Toots McCracken's friend, Splinter, sent her a picture of himself with a shaved head, except he didn't shave his head. It was completely AI. And I was like looking at that going, darn, Splinter, what's going on? I mean, he had a full beard going and the curly hair. He's got curly hair. And I like Splinter. Splinter's a good kid. Let me tell you, when we had our lake infested with nutria, that kid came out with his own ammo and his own 22, and we no longer have that problem on our pond. And Greg and Amber, you've got a great son. Splinter's a great kid. But again, AI being just the added, it's almost like the icing on the cake to just push this world over into just something that we do not want to happen. But we stand with the people of Iran. You know, you have the leftists protesting Iran when Iranians all around the world are cheering for their freedom. We need to be on the right side of history about this. I'll quote the Jerusalem Post. Iranian patriots, keep protesting, take over your institutions, save the names of the killers and abusers. They will pay a big price. Trump shared on his True Social. You know, I have True Social. I do not have that in my radar scan pattern. I guess I should bring that into the radar scan pattern. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We're going to take our last commercial break. We will be right back. And we are back. I've got 2 more sound clips I'm going to try to get into. But, I was talking about Iran. And listen to this Iranian who was talking about the protests. And listen to this.
Mr. Mark Ruffalo, why are you talking about the ICE, that one single woman that died, that came in front of ICE? I don't understand where you guys want to take this with Gaza and Hamas and the Islamic Republic of Iran. Neither of you have lived under the Islamic Republic tyranny that you guys are talking about the death of one single woman that have came in front of an ICE agent, a police. And you guys are talking about, you guys have human rights. You guys have everything that you need in your life. We have been taken, our lives have been taken away from us. You guys have everything, and you guys once have one president in your country that wants the best for the people of America that have built the land for 250 years. America has a right to have a country. America has a right to have a country as much as Iranians have a right to have a country. So let's get the facts right here, all right? Let's not get ourselves lost in this illusion that you guys have been building for us, for people, all right?
Yep. And I'm right now retweeting that on my X because I feel that's really important. And, you've got these blue-haired hippies out there protesting in Minnesota with their nose rings and whatever else they've got, gauged ears and whatever. And they're saying they're oppressed. They need their SSRIs. They need everything to have Joe just their way because they're just feeling so horrible. They're feeling so horrible. Girl, guy, I almost said something else. You don't know what oppression is. You've never lived a tough day in your life. Go live like that guy did in Iran with the mullahs and the Hamas running around patrolling people, the religion police. You think it's bad here? You have absolutely no idea what the heck you're talking about, and you need to just be quiet because you're making an idiot out of yourself. Also, during the show today, I talked about how the youth want to see what it was like when we were growing up. Well, we had this guy named Neil Diamond. And I don't know if you heard about this, but he's got Parkinson's. So naturally, I find out about it. And he actually he had to quit touring because of Parkinson's. But he recently gave a tour or a stand-up performance of Sweet Caroline. And that's how we're going to close out the show today.
Where it began, but then I know it's growing strong. Was in the spring, and spring became the summer.
Better time.
Become along. And touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, wah, wah, wah. Your time never seems so good. So good, so good, so good. I've been inclined to believe they never would. Sweet Caroline, sweet Caroline. Thank you so much.